Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And I have decided to go back and we're going to go through and review all of the subclasses from Heroes of Faerun, Forgotten Realms book. I did go through the Moon Bard. That was the first one I did. It was a while ago, so I figured I'd go through the rest of these because these are starting to pile up, give my opinion about them, tell you about them, tell you what's good about them, tell you what's bad about them, give them a grade, and kind of go through and just discuss some of the workings and innings and outings of each one of these. So, lots to go over, lots to go through. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned. All right, before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget to share this video. Now, this is the knowledge domain. Cleric is what we're going to be talking about today. And in the thumbnail, you did see that I said this was the best skill class in the game. Question mark? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. So, this is a class that does require some planning because of the first ability that you get from the subclass, which is level 3, Blessings of Knowledge. So it says you gain proficiency with one type of artisans tools, however you want to say it. So let's take a look at those real quick. Here they are. There's a whole list of them. So if we hit that little thing, it goes all the way from alchemist supplies all the way to wood carver's tools. And there are things that you can do or you can make with artisans tools through the rules of the utilize or craft skills that are within. So if you have a proficiency with alchemist supplies, you can make acid, alchemist fire, component pouch, oil, paper, or perfume. Each one of these things can be sold or they can be used. So alchemist supplies are pretty useful. I think brewer supplies are pretty useful. You can make an antitoxin. Calligrapher supplies are pretty useful as well because you can use those to make a spell scroll. And then, there's various other things like if you took cobblers, you could get a climber's kit. If you were a jeweler, you could make an arcane focus or a holy symbol, so on and so forth. So the knowledge domain cleric gets proficiency with one of those. Now, you get 2 of the following skills of your choice, proficiency in them, arcana, history, nature, or religion, and you have expertise in those skills. Now, here's why I say this requires some careful planning. As a cleric at first level, 2 of the skills that are on that Blessings of Knowledge list are also on here for first level clerics. So if you take history and religion, you get 2 of these. That's on here. There's history, there's religion. So that's pretty much a waste. So you don't want to do that. For a cleric at first level that's going to be knowledge domain, I would probably go with insight and medicine. Those are both wisdom based. You might have a little bit of charisma, so maybe you take persuasion, but I would stay away from history and religion unless you want to take history and arcana later on. But just keep in mind that religion is intelligence-based, which is usually not a great stat for clerics. Now, back to this. So then you get 2 of these skills. So you're going to have 2 proficiencies in skills from your class. You're probably going to have more from your background, and then you're going to get 2 of these. So you want to make sure, and the 2 that you choose are you're going to have expertise in, which means you get twice your proficiency bonus. So at 5th level, your proficiency goes to +3, which means it's a +6 for one of these skills, arcana, history, nature, or religion. So that does require some planning, but as a cleric, by the time that you get to 3rd level, you've gotten spell casting, you've gotten your Divine Aura, which can also, if you pick Thaumaturge, can give you more skills. So if we go down here to Divine, you get Protector or Thaumaturge. If you take Thaumaturge, you get an extra cantrip. In addition, your mystical connection to Divine gives you a bonus to your intelligence checks. The bonus equals your wisdom modifier. So you could be Arcana or Religion with that. So it makes you even better at skills. So a Thaumaturge Knowledge Domain Cleric is actually pretty good. You get access to your Channel Divinity, which is Divine Spark or Turn Undead. And then you get your subclass, and we're talking about Knowledge Domain. So that's the first thing, Blessing of Knowledge. The second thing you get at 3rd level is you get new spells. These are always prepped. So when you reach Cleric level, specified in the Knowledge Domain table, you therefore always have the listed spells prepared. So Cleric level 3, you're going to have Command. That's a pretty good spell. Okay, that's not bad. But the rest of many of these spells on this list are not combat spells. They are utility spells. Comprehend languages. You do need that from time to time. It is a utility spell. Detect magic. You do need that from time to time. It is a utility spell. Detect thoughts. Again, utility. You do need it. Identify. Not so much. Identify is not the greatest spell in the world. Usually you can figure out what magic items are. And then Mind Spike, which is okay. It does a lot of damage for a 1st level spell, but knowing the location of a creature, okay. On a failed save, you always know the target's location until the spell ends, but only while the two of you are on the same plane of existence. So if it's invisible, you know where it is, you still have disadvantage against it. We're getting Dispel Magic. That's a good one. Non-detection, again, that's kind of utility. Tongues, another utility. Arcane Eye, good spell. Not great in combat. It's utility. Banishment, one of the best spells in the game. So that's a good one. Confusion, one of the best spells in the game. That's a good one. Legend Lore, again, another utility. Scrying, another utility. But Legend Lore and Scrying are going to be used. And then Synaptic Static, that's a great spell. Great spell. Does some pretty good damage. And it will kind of debuff the opponent. So you also get Mind Magic. This is okay. So as a magic action, you can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity. And as a Cleric, Channel Divinity, you get 2 of these. You can use this twice. You regain 1 use with a short rest. Okay. So by using it, you can expend a use, choose 1 spell from the Divination School on the Knowledge Domain spell table. That's this table here. And all of the spells on here that are Divination School have a little asterisk next to them. See, it says there, spell of the Divination School. And then as part of that action, you can cast that spell without expending a spell slot. So what that means is twice an hour, you could be casting Legend Lore or Scrying or Arcane Eye or Tongues or Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts, Identify, Mind Spike, even Mind Spike with that. So that's not too bad. Mind Spike's not bad. That one's not bad. Synaptic Static is not a divination spell. It's an enchantment school spell. So, I mean, a lot of these utility spells you could be casting without expending spell slots, which is great. All right. At 6th level, and by the time we're 6th level with a Cleric, we have gotten our subclass. We've gotten our first either ability score bump or feat. Usually you should take a feat at 4th level. We're going to get Seer Undead. So when you use Turn Undead, you roll a number of d8s equal to your Wisdom modifier and add those rolls together. Each undead that fails a saving throw against that takes radiant damage. This is actually a nerf compared to what it used to be, because you just fry undead of a certain CR. So you've got up to that. You haven't gotten Blessed Strikes yet. So 6th level, you're going to be getting Unfettered Mind. You gain Telepathy. Again, utility. It's not the best thing. It's not going to be super useful in combat. It does have combat uses, don't get me wrong. And then additionally, you gain proficiency in intelligence saving throws. So this is a hard one for a lot of people to make because they are not trained in intelligence. And some of the nastiest spells are intelligence saving throw based. So this is actually pretty good. If you already have this proficiency, you instead gain a saving throw proficiency with 1 ability in which you lack. Okay. And then by 17th level, we're a cleric. We've gotten Blessed Strikes. We've gotten Divine Intervention. We've gotten Improved Blessed Strikes. And we haven't gotten our boon yet. So this is the capstone ability for the Knowledge Domain Cleric. So as a bonus, you get Divine Foreknowledge. As a bonus action, you magically expand your mind for 1 hour. You have advantage on D20 tests. So that's any D20 roll, attack roll, ability check, saving throw. It doesn't matter. And once you use this, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. However, you can restore use of this feature by expending a 6th level spell or higher. No action required. This is great, but you don't get it till 17th level. So what do I think about the Knowledge Domain Cleric? What is the rating I'm going to be giving it? I'm going to be giving it a C+. It's not fantastic. Primarily because it's not fantastic in combat. I personally don't think a lot of these things actually go with a cleric. They don't complement the cleric abilities super great. There are some useful things, don't get me wrong. The ability to use Channel Divinity to cast a lot of these spells without using a spell slot leaves your other spell slots open to use combat type of spells or buff spells that can be used in combat to support players, or to use Cure Wounds, which you're going to need, or Healing Word. So that is a good thing. You get some utility outside of combat for free with Mind Magic, and I think Mind Magic is probably the best thing out of this. But I just don't see it otherwise. Now, it is going to be a big skill monkey, and it depends on the background that you take. But with a background, typical backgrounds are going to give us a couple more skill proficiencies. So, for instance, the Acolyte gives us Insight and Religion. If we were to say to choose the Anthropologist from Tomb of Annihilation, that gives us Insight and Religion. So there's a whole bunch of these in here. Artisan gives us Investigation and Persuasion. So the Cleric gets 2. You're going to get 2 probably from your background, so that's 4. And then you're going to get 2 more from your subclass, which is 6. That's pretty good, considering rogues usually get quite a bit. If we go back up here to the list, so let's go look at the rogue and see what the rogue gets as far as starting skills go. And the rogue gets 4. So the rogue's going to get 4, and then they're going to get 2 for their background. So they're going to get 6. Maybe you take a rogue. If you want to be a true skill monkey, maybe you take first level of rogue just to kind of get all those skills with the background. And then you take the cleric to get the rest of it. And so you'll have 4 as a rogue, 2 from your background, which is 6. And then you'll get 2 more when you hit 3rd level cleric, which is 8. That's quite a bit. So you'll really be very skillful in all of that. But all in all, not great. I am not a super fan of this particular subclass. I think they could have made it a lot better. I think they could have made it more arcane-y, if that's a word. But it is what it is. So, all right, that is our video for the day. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.